Hey everybody. So there's some problems in the market. I'm not able to resolve what's going on exactly. All I can do is kind of point out some of the stuff I'm seeing. I don't have like a narrative to put to it. It's like some things aren't making sense. All right. We don't have it all clear. This is not, it's still very, very dangerous right here. Very dangerous for us all. Anybody that's got money involved in the market. Fear and greed was at 3 and we're up to 16, but we're still in extreme fear. And I don't know, something's up. Something's up. I'm still very nervous about what's going on. I guess before we talk about any trades or anything, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. The things we talk about here, past performance, not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation is intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instruments. And if you desire personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor. We're seeing oil prices down, so that pulled CPI down right here, but the market didn't react. Didn't react. This was down, even though it's a red number, it's actually green. Lower CPI would be good for the market. Tick down, but we're not getting the positive reaction in the market. Something else is cooking here. These treasury yields are going up. That means people are dumping treasuries. Nobody's buying the treasuries. It's not a flight to safety as far as a flight to treasuries. Banks are dumping treasuries. There's a systemic problem in the U.S. financial system. Despite making a record point gain yesterday and third best percentage gain day ever, this chart right here, something's going on. So we saw a historic squeeze yesterday, but CTAs, the computerized trading algorithms, were still shorting into that pop yesterday. Somebody's convinced that we're still going lower. Something's going on that's bigger than something's going on bigger than what I'm putting together so far. We're seeing, like, one of the things I haven't been able to resolve is how and why there's more shorting and more people selling the market naked. Naked short selling has been bigger than during COVID. Like, I haven't been able to resolve this, and I'm still not able to really resolve it. I don't know how that's going on. Naked short selling is just enormous. And yesterday I was pointing out that the top of book was only like $1.3 million. And like, dude, something's going on. Something's up bigger than just the numbers on the chart. This could be this could be the initial part of the Greater Depression thing I've been talking about. If this continues to snowball, maybe it's the deep state. I don't know. I'm not even going to go down the road. Like, it seems that there is some sort of effort to try to crash the U.S. financial system. Some effort going on. And it seems to be some sort of coordinated thing. It's not fitting. Like, this isn't how the correction played out anytime I've ever been trading before. And, CTAs, if you look at here, like right in here during COVID, they're pushing further down. Right here, they tried to push it down. So it seems to be some sort of coordinated effort to flush it out, burn down the house. I don't know what it is. Like, something's up. Something's up. I'm not necessarily thinking it's Trump anymore. It may be bigger than Trump. I don't know. Something like, There's just too much coordination here. The interest rate's not going Trump's way. Is like, that's one of the things that makes me wonder what's going on. These are going the wrong way. Treasuries, like, if people are fleeing to safety, the treasuries should be dropping, not rising. They're not fleeing to safety. Something else is going on, and I haven't put it together. I'll keep looking, keep checking on charts. Something else is going on. I think we need to be prepared for a bigger potential flush out. A giant three-wave up. This is what potentially scares me here. It's like, look at this. We just came up into the first move up, second move, third move. This is like we negated the immediate downside setup we had yesterday morning, but this set up a bigger potential downside setup right here with that three wave continuation. Like, is down at this point. I am highly nervous about what we've got set up. Now, just this immediate flush, if it was a roadmap bounce on, I think we touched the 1 hour. Yeah. It's a 1 hour roadmap bounce here with a very proportional 1, 2, 3 for a corrective move. That flush is right down there. And the extension is right down here. Still the same place we were looking at yesterday. Wish I had better news, everybody, but this is kind of scaring me a little bit. Like, we might be in for a bigger market takedown, flush out. One of the things that was showing up weird yesterday, Michael Cannon was pointing out that there were lots of big puts getting added on my new scanner I built, and lots of big put orders on stuff that didn't have any open interest. And that was weird. It was weird. I thought it was weird when I started looking at it after the market closed yesterday. I'll have to update the channel and get it pulled down here. It's like, yeah, there were some call going through, but there were some big put orders coming through too. Like right here, one for example, FAS. You know, the open interest was 189. The volume was 1,000. It was a $1 million order, and we get that very well could have been a closing order on IBIT. You know, there were just tons of these things flying through. Yeah, I'm looking for small, like this one right here, like STNG right here. Open interest was 3. Yeah, nobody's trading this. Open interest 3. Somebody pushed 2,500 contracts. The 3250 put. STNG. STNG. Get my mouse to the right screen. 3250 is slightly down here. Right at the bottom of, basically right at the bottom of that. Like UVIX right here. A call on UVIX. Like, open interest was 31. Somebody about 400. Spent $1.2 million buying UVIX. As some of the Mag 7 stuff where they trade tens of thousands of contracts, $1 million doesn't matter. Same with Tesla. Doesn't really matter. Mag 7 orders less than 10 million don't really matter. If you don't know what Mag 7 is, I'm at Microsoft, Meta, Apple, Amazon, Google, Nvidia, Tesla. those you need $10 million orders to really mean anything. So just keep rolling through there. There's a call order on XLK. So it's interesting. I mean, there's just some big put orders on things that didn't make sense to me when I was looking through this stuff. And, there were tons of those orders yesterday. So, and they're not, they're not all sweep orders. I very, very specifically look for specific things for those to show up. Like that. Yeah, there's an IBIT put right there. Like, put order on IBIT. IBIT 62 strike. Somebody pushed 1,000. There was only 66 open. Spent $2.3 million on that. $62 strike. That's all the way up here. That's deep in the money. Somebody spent $2.3 million on that. Right there. That's just a little bit wild to me. I don't know. Something's up. Something's up. What's up? I don't know. Let's keep diving in, looking at it. So the futures here. That could be a 5-wave up. We could have one more little squeak. It's entirely possible. This is not an all clear until we're above the 618 zone. When I say the 618 zone, I'm talking about from the high back here, this high, all the way up here, down to this low. And then even still, we may not be in the all clear, but we're going to have to get above 5,800 basically to set up this. And we pulled that all pulled up. That first target, 1448, and it puts this one right on that, right in the neighborhood of 6,600. So we could go back up. Really possible. We go back up here and still end up doing this in the future. Like, is this practice round? I don't know. 3-wave correction so far. Could it be done? Maybe. It's got me really nervous, though. This is one of those, like, it could go either way. I did buy VIX yesterday. For those of you that are in Discord, you're like, wow, you've been posting a lot more content out for everybody to see. Like, during critical times like this, I don't feel like it does everybody a service if I hide things just for premium members. So I've been putting most of the content, most of the trades, most of the stuff out for everybody to see. I still don't share everything I do. Some stuff I'm just not sure about. Like, I don't want people to lose money on things I'm not quite sure about. So but this is a critical time in the market. Like, this may just be a first leg down. I'm very, very concerned here. This is potentially not going to be good if we do more continuation on the flush out. You can see we're already opening up, taking a quarter back of what we rose up yesterday. And here's the, yeah. I almost can't put words to it. Like, I'm so concerned about what might happen. We have that dip right there. That was a 1618 extension pretty dang close. So that 1, 2, 3 potential 4, as long as we're below, like I was talking about, like I've said, as long as we stay below that right there, we still have the setup for going on down. Still in place. This was a slow wave 2 compared to this fast wave 4. Theory of alternation stays intact. We might still have a flush out scenario, just different than I was looking at. And this, based on the cash index, puts us right down here for the next move. And if we complete a 5 down, probably do a 3 up, and then we'll do the big down. And if you thought this was big down and big up, we ain't seen nothing yet. This will be unprecedented size that we've never seen before. If we actually do this, if we actually complete this price action, we have not had any kind of all clear yet in the market. Be very careful if I was selling puts. You could get something that you're going to hold on to for a long time if we do a major market flush out. That's going to have to be careful, everybody. Going to have to be careful. It's treacherous. I guess treacherous might be the right word. This is a treacherous setup in the market for now, until we resolve these things. Now, the futures came up right to the limit. Right to the limit to maintain a downward bias. So the first sign is getting above this area right here. It has nothing to do with the roadmap line, everything to do with this low right here. Got to push on through, not just a minor overlap, but we got to push on through. So 5,600, we get above 5,600. That's a first indication we're probably done on this flush out, at least on ES right here. First indication. That doesn't mean we won't go down. It's not an all clear. It's just a first indication that we're done on the downside for right this moment. Now, anybody that was trading yesterday, you're like, JT, you were like super bearish on the yesterday morning. I was. Something happened. So we had this move up. We had this retrace that was very clear, 3 waves. A little skewed on the proportion, but very nice. Then we started out on 1. We started out with a spike right here. It was like, that's a 1-2. And then we started on this move up right here. I was like, oh, there's opportunity here. This right here was interesting. I was like, that was weird. And then we got some other spikes in here. They quickly got taken back. Then right here, somebody placed a trade knowing what was about to happen, and the market took it right back. Somebody knew what was about to happen. And then the Trump tweets or posts or whatever, and the market ripped 400 points. But they stopped people out first. Like they did this retrace right here. Stop out and then rip higher. This isn't normal. This isn't normal. Something's going on under the hood. Something's going on. And those CTAs, a lot of them should have been stopped out on a 400-point move. But instead, they got more short. and computerized trading algos. Somebody's running the game to try to flush out the market. Something's going on. It all, like, the price action all looked fine. It's still working the patterns, but something else is cooking here. Yeah, some of these are a little crazy. So volume, I don't really care. It's all about the price patterns. Still in a downtrend on NQ. Russell. And that one's almost more clear. Look at this. That first move up, right to that high. 1, 2, 3. Retrace right back down to the low. And that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right into the high. Corrective. Continuation. Lower. I think we're still getting a lower low. Oil bleeding back off pretty violently. We came up to retest that. Didn't even get to it, but came up to retest that zone. Bleeding back off. I think we're coming down here. And I still believe that when we get down to this level or below, it's going to kick off the war with Iran. Things are about to get crazy. Crazier than crazy. GC, be careful. Please be careful. That's coming back up. That's still in the reversal zone here. This 3-wave retrace I drew, still active. It just happens from over here instead of touching down here. Pulling it up just a little bit higher. Hopefully, if you were in the gold rush trade, you made out and got out. I don't know. I'm not watching I don't even know where my phone went. Hopefully, we got the fill to get out. I don't see anybody say anything yet. Let me know in the chat if you got out. We made the money. Nice pop overnight. Just because I'm big picture bearish doesn't mean short term we can't make the money. Remember, there's short-term trades, and then there's big picture trades. Short-term trades and big picture trades. So you gotta know your time frame. All right, just because, hey, JT's big picture bearish, that doesn't mean that one of these little short-term couple-day trades won't work out. Don't get hooked into the narratives. You gotta, like, I can have a big picture bearish trade and a short-term bullish trade on at the same time. Bitcoin red into the open. That indicates that we might have a red day on S&P 500. With that crazy big pop there, it would be crazier if we took it all the way back today. I'm very cautious on all this stuff. Remember, this one stepped across the line and set up the potential to go down. We may be back testing before we flush it on down. Very, very careful right now. NKD. Look at that craziness happening there. This looks like to me 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're about to do that. Dollar plummeting back out. Coming on down to those below 100 targets, more than likely. Go look at money's flowing. I think yesterday I said this was likely to pop. Here's the target. Right up there. possibly up there on the next move for euro dollar pair. Let's see. Dollar yen. It didn't really move compared to the euro. Here's the support. If we break down, going lower. Drew that yesterday. We have the volatility on that baby. More volatility there. Some wild things. What if the fiat system collapses? You know, that's kind of like what keeps mulling around in the back of my head. What if the whole plan here is to collapse the fiat system? You know, conspiracy theories about global reset, blah blah blah. But you know, lately it seems like the difference between a conspiracy theory and truth is like 3 to 5 weeks or something like that. So that's one that hasn't played out yet. But what if that's trying? Like, what if the system's actually trying to reset everything? ONC potential to go higher. That's biotech pharma. Caution. Anytime biotech pharma makes the top of the list in the morning, we've had a crazy day. There's only 22 gainers. There's more decliners today than there were yesterday. Be careful, everybody. I did buy VIX yesterday. Could be a smart play to buy VIX at 40. If this pops, we're probably going to see it go even higher. Next move up could look something like 63, 67, 76. Looks a lot like a 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's a slow 2 and a fast 4. We're seeing that over and over in the market. Could be the top, but at this point, I am not counting it out. Yeah, 65. Yeah, we could. Looks like one more nominal higher high might be in the cards for now. I'm going to stay on that VIX I bought yesterday. I actually did double down, or actually like quadrupled down, and when it got into the 25-cent range. I don't think it's done yet. Something's telling me that not done yet. That came down to the target. That high, that low. Potential to come back up to 98. VIXy. Potential to come back down, but also shoot back up. So here's the crux of the matter. Is this doesn't look like this. This looks like a consolidation before we do more upside. And just fingers on the right keys. Come back over to 2020. This is looking more, it's kind of like this right here to me. Before we went ripping on higher. Something's up. This is like the moves in the market are bigger and crazier than COVID. Well, not on a percent basis yet, but on a volume basis. So I just keep coming back around to something's up. So something's up in the market. And volatility making the top of the list. Technology bears. Look at that plummet yesterday. This could be a bounce. Opportunity here if you believe we're going to go down again. Buy here, potentially cash out at 109. UVIX might be about to spike. I don't know. TWM, ultra short Russell might be about to spike again. Just unprecedented moves here. GLD back up to the highs. Man, that's a stark contrast between GC and we rolled over the contract before we did that. So stark contrast here between the GLD chart and the GC chart. GC back to the high. Still looking for that kind of move right there. ETHD. If Ethereum breaks down, this one's probably popping out. SRTY, short Russell, also probably popping up. There's opportunity here if you got, I mean, like, there's a very fine line here between playing this very smart and being stupid and sucked into something. Where that fine line is, I don't know. Like, this could very suddenly do that. I mean, tariffs have been on again, off again, on again, off again, on again, off again, and that's been the excuse, right? So what's the next excuse? I don't know. I mean, maybe China lashes out. Maybe China decides it's time to take Taiwan. Ugly, indicating with the lower high that we might be coming back down. Be very, very careful. Short. Man, look at that. Oh, God, it's hammering. TQQQ. The TQQQ pop looks tiny compared to the SQQQ. Retraced back to the roadmap line. That holding at the roadmap line, to me, is concerning here in the short term. That looks undone, unfinished. Very well could lead to a pop and a move up in this area. This is a decaying asset, has reverse splits, so be very, 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 very careful playing this. You can lose your shirt and your account. Short Dow, same pattern, shiny. This is 3x leverage on gold. That one still looks like we're set to come down. TSDD. 2x short on Tesla. Now look at that. This is a whole different pattern. Whole different pattern. Now that came up. Retracing down to the 786. And if this completes a 3-wave move, we'd be down in here. I'm going to have to switch to log mode because that's going negative. Yeah, there. Now we're coming out right at the 618. This could be a bounce for short Tesla. TCOM, chip.com. Underneath the roadmap line, no support so far. Love Sack, look at that, beautiful. That was a Head and Shoulders that failed and went right to the target. Can't make this stuff up. Three wave, 1, 2, 3, rejection. Would I buy now? Probably not. As long as it's below the roadmap line, we can still just bounce and go lower. DSLQ. Now, my flip-flopping rhetoric sometimes drives people crazy that follow me, but I try to come at these with an open mind and not dwell on what I've said before. Try not to get into my own bias. Like, just because I believe Tesla's going to go up doesn't mean that this isn't telling me a story that Tesla might go down because the shorts are indicating that there's some sort of story here for going higher. Very, very cautious right now. QID, that's another ultra short. Potentially indicating we're going lower again. That lower low still cooking in the charts. Nothing's really resolved here. I think it has nothing to do with tariffs, Kevin. Nothing at all. I think something's going on that doesn't involve Trump with the market. Trump's the excuse. Trump's the narrative, but something else is going on bigger than Trump. Most of the big money players don't like Trump. So it's the perfect excuse to think about it. Most of the people that control the most money, everybody's like, oh, the billionaires are making money off of Trump. Except most of the billionaires are Democrat. There's only a handful that are Republican or Trump aligning conservative type. So why are they all egging this on? And Trump's tariffs are the excuse for something else cooking. I don't know what. Like I don't want to sound like a conspiracy nut or a wackadoo and get everybody to quit watching me. So something's going on. Watch out for resistance there. If you took the long at 600, might consider where you're getting out. I did not jump into that one. KLAC rejecting the roadmap line. Watch for another push lower. This is like, so reasonable people that think everything runs for a reason and reasonable stuff. I think we've thrown out reasonable at this point in time. Something else is going on in the market that is not explained by historic economic reasoning. So 534 potential downside. There's like 199 of these downs. I could sit here and talk about them all day, I'm sure. Things that didn't break above the roadmap line still have downside potential, which is going to be almost everything. JPM coming up with earnings tomorrow. It'd be interesting to me to see, well, this first part of the drop. January, February, March. That first part was in here. Did all these big banks make money on that drop? Or did they get wrecked? Did they make money on the drop or did they get wrecked? This will be the tell when they report earnings. Are they complicit in this drop? Or are they getting wrecked? So that'll be interesting. Got a lot of financial earnings coming up. Starting tomorrow. Just pop on here. Earnings Friday. We had 308 today, 341 tomorrow. Wish you could sort by market cap because that's just a ridiculously large amount of stuff putting earnings out. Let's see. I'm posting in Discord a link to. Roll back up here. Earnings Whisperer. These guys do really good posting these. So we've got BlackRock, Wells Fargo, BNY, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan. We had CarMax today, Lovesac today. I took advantage of Delta. And then next week, we got all sorts of stuff ramping up. And then the week after that is when big tech kind of starts going. So I'd be very careful out here today. I don't think the market's going back to highs before we go lower. I think we're going lower before higher. That's what it looks like. If financials report soft earnings, that's going to be a big flush out type event potentially. And then we could be setting up a 5 down, and then we get a 3 retrace, and then a bigger down. That's the risk in the market right now that we have cooking. That's the big risk. Airbnb, that's back testing. Like, that's a very loose uptrend of lows, but we back tested it, rejected. That could almost be a short right there, if that's the kind of stuff you want to go after. I would target 90. Right in there. I'm gonna add alert just because I want to see if I'm right. I'm not trading it, but I want to see if I'm right. And Google looks like we're setting up for a bigger flush. That's just one big move down. I'll watch for any retrace to the roadmap line that indicates we're probably going on further down. Amazon, let's just run through the mom and at. Just glance the top. That's almost the same. I didn't even have to update the chart. Microsoft could potentially be done, but that I don't think it's going to be immune to any further downside. Meta, back up to the roadmap line. Watch for the bounce down. It's funny how don't even have to update anything. Apple, that didn't even, like, that just came up to the gap down zone. That's dangerous. Danger, danger, danger. That play that I sold the 144, I got out yesterday for a couple pennies. Closed it out, made my money, got the heck out. Got the heck out of Dodge. Short-term opportunities right there. Potential for that to come on down. See, we did Apple, Amazon, Google, Nvidia. That was a heck of a rally, but still leaves open the door for one more drop. Right back here. UNH. Let's see what we got cooking. Popping to my eject point. Now, I'm not just going to cut it right there. I'm going to wait and see what happens. Wait and see. I'm not convinced that's going higher at the moment. What's the market looking like? And we're pushing on down. Tesla. I don't know. I really expect this one to hit the roadmap line, and then we can see what happens. That could have been just a lower high, and we reject right back down. So you got to make a decision. Do you want to ride it, or do you want to ride or die? We break through this orange box, we're probably going back to lows. Probably going back to lows. That was the second biggest move Tesla's ever made right there. Yesterday. Second biggest move ever. Pop this right there. 22.69%, second single biggest day percentage gain in the 15-year history. 22.69% yesterday. That's pretty smoking. But it didn't really go anywhere, right? I mean, look, big picture, didn't do anything. In fact, this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4. We'd be working on that, and then get a 5 down, and then do a 3 up, and then another 5 down. That's what could be cooking here. Gonna have to decide if you're sticking around. I think whatever's in the market's nefarious. I don't think there's any good going on right now. Hardly possible. They're trying to crash out the fiat system. I don't know who you put who they is in this case, but they, deep state, powers that be, I don't know. Coordinated effort and evil people. Some people like to just watch the world burn. I mean, has anybody seen Batman? I mean, some people just do crap to watch the world burn. And what if some of those people have enough money to actually burn it down just to watch it burn? That's always the risk. Always the risk. So that's Mom and Dad. That was Microsoft, Amazon, and pull up Amazon. Glance at Target. I think we're still going lower. Apple, Meta. That's a bounce off the roadmap line. Be careful with any of these things. Netflix. Now that actually looks like a bounce. Like that's, if we can break through the downtrend of highs, that could actually go higher potentially. A lot like Bitcoin. If we could possibly break through the freaking downtrend of highs, we could start this. But it just keeps grinding. Grinding. We don't have much room left. Or something's got to give. We either break support or we crush it out of the upside resistance. Support comes from this high back here in the March 24 high. We broke out right there, and now we're back to testing it. If we can hold on to it, there is a little bit of slush. We can step across the line, but I don't want to see it like, I want to see us like setting up a new house down here and pushing it lower. Yeah, maybe Soros, maybe, I don't know. Like, I mean, look at Europe. It's a hot mess of what's going on. Like, they don't even know what's going on. I don't know. Like, I don't even know what the game plan is, except maybe this is a war that's gone on longer than, I mean, maybe it's just a war of power that's gone on longer than any of us imagine. I mean, China's playing the 10,000-year war to be the biggest leader of the land. And they'll do whatever to take that over. They make it clear that's their game plan, is to unseat Russia and the United States and be the biggest ruler of the world. It's just their big picture plan. There's nothing anybody's going to say to change that. So yeah. It's not a giant move, but it did roll off a little bit. And some of these big players, they like to get in like that, and then when he does that, cash it out. Yeah, just a gap down. I mean, not a big deal. Just a gap down. Hadn't gone lower yet, though. I still expect it to break down. And nothing surprises me right now. Somebody asked me how I'm so cool and collected with all the crazy going on in the market. It's like, yeah, the moves are big, but they're not actually. Back to the. Let's see. I guess I didn't pull that up. Let me pull this up. I posted it in the announcements channel. Roll down, grab it right here. Pop it out, pop it over. This right here. Yesterday, on a percent basis, third biggest day ever. Look at that, 2008. So even during COVID, it wasn't quite, we did have crazy down days, but we didn't have the big up days. Look how many 2008 days we're in here. 2008, 2008, 2008, 2008, 2008, 2008, 2009, 2008, 2008, 2008, 2008, 2008. Trading through the great financial crisis got me used to, we made giant freaking swings. Seems like every other week. We made some giant move up, some giant move down. I mean, look at the worst daily returns. Look at this. Like one in September, one in October, one in December. 9%. 7, 8, 9%. Swings, 6%. This one we just did was a 6%. We did 5% and 6%. That was like, seen it before. Even though the points were bigger, because we're way higher than we were back then, the percent basis, it was like, not really a big deal. Google nefarious. What do I mean, nefarious? So, and if you missed the beginning, author, you should just go back and watch the beginning. But these swings aren't really crazy. So, yeah, you're definitely a few minutes behind on your questioning. So, I don't know. I'm going to be really careful today. Bias. I brought a couple trades. Maybe a couple opportunities. I don't know if they'll work out. Maybe pull those up and show them off. Let me grab the couple trades. All right, here's one. Up to that daily chart, CSGP. Right here. CoStar Group. Got this high, we got this low. Yesterday's close was above the 618. Today we're down here. Has that upside potential right there. It is in kind of a downtrend though, so that's not working for this. Now the statistics on this one. Let me pop it up, pop it out, pop it over. Right here. So 84.74 targets, stop below 70. It's a $6 upside potential from yesterday's close, which were lower, so it's a bigger potential, better risk to reward today. 94.74% of the time this has worked out on 19 trades since 1998. Right there, 19 trades since 1998. And a 32.47 profit factor. So that target right up there at 84.74. Now, like I said, looking at the actual charts, I don't know. I've done a bunch of analysis on these so far, and the big picture hasn't seemed to matter that much. So, does it matter here? I don't know. Market does have sort of a downward bias. That is a three-wave retrace. It doesn't negate the fact that it would work out. Now, the other one, I did bring two. The other one has a better profit factor. Copy, put it in here, paste right here. So we've got, this one's very much higher priced here. So we closed at 18.48 right there. And we've got an upside potential of 126 to 1974.21 is the target. Stop below 15.84. That is a very large point. 400, basically 400 points. This worked out 20, we've got 22 trades since 1987. basically 91% of the time this works out with a profit factor of 50. Not too shabby. So this is on FICO. Pull that one up. And we've had, so the move it actually found is this move right here. From the high right in here to the low right here. And we do have the bigger pullback. And that low is the low for that bigger pullback. This actually could go on a bigger run up in here on the potential like that. All right. There you go. Bias for the day. Wouldn't surprise me to take it all the way back to the bottom, quite honestly. I'm not even sure I can draw levels with the chaos here. Watch for the 15-minute to break down. I guess that would be the main level to watch right there. This high coming across to the 15-minute roadmap line. We start below that. Very, very likely we're going to end up lower low. Pretty clean three-wave up right now. Getting below this indicates we're coming on down, at least back into this range with a high probability. It was at 85% yesterday. We're going to make a lower low. I think we're at 90% now today. I just have this feeling. Seen it before. There you go. That's not a criteria, though. Will. So don't take it if you don't want to. It's not part of the criteria. Here we go. That's it. That's the thing to watch right there. That level. Right around the 52.46, basically 52.45-ish. You want to round it off. You can see what I'm putting on there. Then I'll probably put a confirmation at the 618. Should be right here. Remember, algorithms got more short yesterday on the pop than they were. So unprecedented shorting even into this pop yesterday. Unprecedented shorting. Something's going on. Something's going on bigger than the tariff narrative, bigger than anything making the mainstream media news. So if you're watching the mainstream media news, you're missing out on whatever's happening. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to put it together. Being on the right side of it can make you a lot of money. Just like I was in COVID. So I think we're making a lower low, but here's the levels I'm watching. 52.45. 50.75. Then we're probably game on for going lower, somewhere down in this vicinity. Lower low than we made on Monday. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. I'll be back again tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel, 9:15 tomorrow morning. Let's do it all over again. Look for stuff moving. Try to find some opportunities. Have a great day. Stay safe out there. The account you save may be your own. Be careful. Woods are full of danger right now.